Alright, anyway, we're introducing people here as well, of course. In the top right side, the red Terran player, he's teamless. He is BYUN. Bottom left side, we got the blue Protoss player. Is he in a team right now, actually? Hurricane. I swear, these players in Korea, they are switching teams more often than Square Dance's switch partners or something. Okay, no, he's also teamless. He's also teamless right now. He is a Hurricane. Yeah, looked less epic this time. Maybe I didn't quite let it go. Alright, anyway. What's happening over here? What we got? What we got? What we got brewing? There's a storm brewing. What kind of storm? That's the storm we're bound to find out. Apparently there's some blockage going over here. Well, following with a bit of a zap as well. Reaper will be coming out shortly, so the probe does leave the overall area here. Nexus goes down without a hitch. Checks for those pesky bunkers as well, of course. Smart thing to do. After all, that is a likely thing for, you know, a likely thing to happen if you are playing against BYUN. BYUN does like to poke around with his Reapers and the bunkers. Well, you're gonna get a probe here. Bit of a misplay, I would say, from Hurricane. You're just not microing the probe at all. Maybe the nerves getting to him, finally. Realizing that it is BYUN after all that he's playing. I don't know. Probably shouldn't get to him too much, right? Third base coming up for BYUN with a second barracks alongside. There is the second orbital now being constructed. Ooh, this Reaper could be in trouble. Just managed to get away. It looks like the Adept already shaded it as well. Otherwise, if it manages to land a shot right there and then use the shade to chase after the Reaper. There's not a lot of cliffs to jump here, so the Reaper would have could have been in a bit of a pinch. Instead, he survives and he gets himself two more probes. Two more probes. Give this man a medal. Scouts the Twilight Council as well. That's quite a delightful little Reaper man right there. Getting himself most of the information required. Very much appreciated. Second Vindicta fan, whoever you are. A lot of Marines here. Trying to chase off the hallucinated Phoenix. There's that third base right there for Hurricane on pretty regular timing. We would anticipate some sort of a move out here from BYUN with the stim pack finishing up, I would imagine. Right, with this amount of Marines, you still kind of want to make a dent into the gateway forces. That was the Twilight Council scouted, so you should know he has a reasonable shot. Or, I guess he could just stay home in fear of a Twilight Council Blink Stalker attack as well. I mean, that is a legitimate fear. That is truly a legitimate fear. As I say it, chills shiver down my spine. I mean, it's only 4 right now, right? It doesn't look that intimidating. Alright. Couple of probes getting ready to mine here. There is one single Marine present. It's gonna have Stimpak soon. He will make an absolute bloodbath of that area. Or he might just stick around there on the top side, ready to scout whenever he wants to. Guess that's a fair choice. Oh, man. There it is. That what he was afraid of, sticking back at home, but still suffering quite, well, a little bit of a nuisance. The barracks going down, that would be quite a debauchery, but does manage to avoid it for now. The Marines and Marauders, I mean, they are quite capable of just holding their own against the Stalkers here. It's the little fence in between that makes it very difficult for them to engage. Without it, with the stim pack, they are able to chase, especially given they have the 2 medevacts now as well. Ready to heal up after using those, well, near-lethal drugs, I suppose. As long as they don't break their legs, they'll be alright. They'll be able to run around, just like the rest of them. I think even with broken legs, I'm fairly certain you should be able to run around with one of those machine things. Anyway, a little cluster of stalks here. Nice bit of micro there from Hurricane as well, blinking backwards. Getting the low HP, well, the low shield stalkers, and the low HP stalkers, I suppose. Back to safety. A little one by one. So let's come in with a attempted counter-attack on the 3rd base. Stalkers already underneath the medevacts. Quite a hit right there. Losing a bulk of the army. Zealots have entered the SCV range right now. I think that is why BYUN is retreating. He wants to deal with this before he really does commit to any type of attacking. Could be quite atrocious otherwise, of course. Wasn't quite sure if that was the rest of it either. Could be that there's a slew of more zealots just following up right afterwards. Just the rest of the gateways finish up or something like that, right? Okay, BYUN getting ready for another attempt here. We'll gather up more of his boys. Yeah, goes back for those Marauders as well. I mean, 3 Marauders, that is quite a significant part. And at least on the right side, his army seems like it should be able to take that down. On the left side, I could imagine him running into some difficulties if he does lose too many of those medevacts before dropping all the units. Seeing how there are the 2 cannons and quite a couple of stalkers there as well. More shield batteries going down on the left, or the right side, excuse me. There's the 2 cannons as well, but only a single shield battery. Dark Shrine also coming into play. Spots the Observer, decides not to go for it quite yet. The Phoenix here, see that there's a base without that many missile turrets overall, which should suggest an opportunity here for the DT tech, of course, in the near future. There they go. The drop for BYUN on the left side still kind of stalemated. Not sure if they want to commit or not. Checking to see what they can pull away maybe from the left flank here with this push. And then go in later on. So we can see as he's rotating away from this left side, or the right side, the left side should be starting to move in, and we'll just kind of casually move around. Hurricane not going quite crazy just quite yet on the bases. Oh, we got the DTs, of course, as well, already in the mix here. Looks like they got 7 SCVs at this point in time. I wouldn't worry too much about the 7 SCVs. Economically speaking, for BYUN, I think he'll survive quite handsomely. That's a bit of disappointment here, of course, for Hurricane, as he is trying to hold off this attack. I think he will. BYUN, I guess he kind of got what he could trade. On the right side, that looks like a lot more overwhelming over here. Nexus very likely to go down. And with it, will there be more Protoss units as well? Try to be sacrificed to stop this contamination from taking place of the Terran kind. Looks like, you know, the Starks and the sentries there with the force fields doing a pretty good job. Colossi just sweeping away as much as they can. 13 kills and a Casual 6 on the other one. Had a bit of a more relaxing time as we have a big drop in the natural base. Look at that. Quite a couple of disruptors there being taken out. Medevacs get out with whatever they manage to get their hands on. And let's see what that leaves us with here. In the overall Unitals tab. Going up rather okay-ish here for Hurricane, I suppose. He did manage to get those bases a bit earlier, but he never really got a good income advantage here. So, you know what, overall, yeah, that is looking pretty darn tasty here for BYUN. All that extra gas in particular being lost for Hurricane, of course, being quite costly. Probably comes down to the disruptors, some DTs, the sentries there as well, really bunching that up. But really, disruptors, DTs, single Colossus. Well, that's going to quickly rush that price up quite quickly. More attempted DT harassments. Looks like the wavy pattern of the Observer was spotted, but the DT so far still going unnoticed, I believe. As far as I'm aware. A few Widow Mines also spread along cunningly, as he's hoping to find some overall unit rotation here or there. DT starting to get closer by as well as the Liberator coming across. EMP on top of the shield battery. With the shield battery overcharges, should still regenerate, I believe, if I'm not mistaken. But anyway, here we go. Big fight happening. Nice EMPs on those Stalkers disruptors. Short. Ooh, finds a big cluster of Terran. Yeah, there's not that much left here anymore for BYUN. After taking out the Nexus again, though, does he mind? Let's just see what else he can manage to squeak away from this engagement with. Does have a Liberator in the main base as well, actually doing a real good bit of damage. The DTs have stayed docile. Not really doing much of anything here. The army of Hurricane stopped the chase as well. Did not progress in that chase. And Hurricane taps out just like that. He's just like, you know, I lost too many probes. Maybe he's right. He lost his Nexus there a good amount of times as well. As good a time as any to kind of tap out of that one, I'd say. Good point. Good point. Really dead in the waters there, honestly. The next one will be Oxide. BYUN and Hurricane, of course. So it is the best of 5 here. Hurricane, I mean, the DTs were for 7 kills. I felt like it felt a little bit late overall. And what can we really say? I mean, never managed to really get a good Zealot run by going on. Well, he had the 1, right? He had the 1. And even then, he got like 5 kills, maybe 7. If he microed those Zealots as well, he probably would have gotten a bit more. Seeing how they clumped up on the Marauders there for quite a bit. But yeah, I'm not entirely certain anyway. All right, I gotta make sure to send a notification to the followers. Anyway. Right, second game here in the top right side. We've got a red Terran player. He is fighting for no man in particular except for himself. Mr. BYUN. Alright, well, lovely. In the bottom left side, we got ourselves the blue Protoss player fighting for no man either. Hurricane. So, what are we waiting to see here? BYUN could very well go for once again the quick expand, the quick triple expand even. Could even do with a Marine instead of a Reaper here. He's already sending one SCV across the map. Does indicate that he wants to go for a scout. Could indicate that he does want to skip the Reaper here perhaps. Yeah, he does want to go for the Marine. Allows him to tack up a little bit more quickly straight after going for that command center. Oh. Delaying this a little bit. 60 minerals, not bad. Cybercore already coming up as we see. Tagging along in the Protoss base, checking out what's happening here. What's cool with the crew. Well, looks like not that much just quite yet. He's just doing the regular Protoss things that we would imagine that are occurring right now. And we're all just chugging along in the big game of StarCraft 2. Factory coming up as well. There it is. Attacking up as we mentioned after the marine reactor coming in. Alright. We'll just continue producing more marines. And perhaps going to get himself some siege tanks here. Could be for the Widow Mine drop as well, actually. Hellions? I mean, BYUN does like Hellion drops. There still could be a couple of things. We do have 2 gases now. Perhaps not really... Well, getting a good look at the main base, but getting a good look at the natural. Seeing the second base is there. It's been made as a fair amount of marines, but that's about it. And that really is about it, right? From that, overall, seeing this amount of marines, maybe you can infer that there wasn't a second quick barracks. Or maybe those marines are still hidden, right? That could be another guess on his mind. Either way, he's got to be careful. Hurricane going all out with the cheese, though. He's going to go for the Dark Shrine with a robotics facility added on as well. Looks like we've looked away for a little bit, and Hurricane started up the entire Protoss Carnival over here. Set up all the party tents, and, well, we're going to see how that is going to unfold. BYUN already moving those Widow Mines. I mean, those could be quite helpful into intercepting a Warp Prism. Warp Prism going to be quite a tool when you can just avoid the scans, of course. What is this? It's a Raven being built. Okay, Ravens are good. Medevac coming along, chugging on this right side. Not entirely certain if it was spotted by the Warp Prism. Looks like it may have been because, well, BYUN is moving in this position overall. Is he? He is. TT's, one of them, going towards the natural as the War Prism gets thwarted for now. There's a full war at the natural as well. Alright. Oh, no. Okay, Hurricane in a lot of trouble. Hurricane in a lot of trouble. 10 worker kills as well. Hot diggity. You just don't make it up. You just don't make it up, guys. That is quite ridiculous. The DTs, I mean, they have done nothing. Absolutely nothing so far. They killed a couple of Marines. Alright, they killed 5 Marines. That is, well, a bit more than half of the value of probes that you've lost. And the probes are always more valuable, of course, because they keep producing more minerals, so, you know, they matter a little bit more. Except for the Marines keep them alive, so in a sense, you know, they're both needed, but I suppose Zealots, or whatever the case would be for the Protoss. DTs transformed themselves into the Archons that they always knew they were, deep inside. Do a little battle there with an auto turret. As BYUN just tries to get rid of them. Does manage to kill one of them. Probably more than Hurricane had bargained for. 10 more probes go down, by the way. That is once again the medevac with those Widow Mines coming in. Being missed by me as well as Hurricane. Lovely. So now he's lost in total 20 probes. 20 probes. Look at those lovely numbers right there. I mean, this one single Archon's gonna have to do an awful lot right now in order to make up for all of this. Oh god, is he gonna lose more? It's coming in again. I think Hurricane is ready for it this time. This time. This time he's ready. Or is he? Well, he's kinda... There we go. Okay. Nice. Lovely. Alright, he's surviving. He's surviving. He's not really thriving, though, to be fair. Is taking quite a loss on this Nexus. Not sure if he will be able to intercept this in time. Oh, there's the Raven. Ropes don't matter no more, baby. Okay, well, I mean, the Siege Tanks do manage to clear out the Stalkers, and that leaves the Marines to deal with the Zealots, and they don't bargain well against those. The Archon was already low, the Colossus was low. BYUN takes another victory right there. 2 games in a row. 2 games in a row taken there by BYUN. We'll have to see what happens in the third one, of course. Will BYUN just be able to take a clean sweep here against Hurricane, or will Hurricane make a resurgence? Who knows? Who knows? Death Aura is the map that it is played on, though. That is what we do know. So we'll take a gander and see what, of course, happens on Death Aura. Death Aura. I mean, it's never nice to go down 3-0, right? But this man is potentially about to do it, guys. So he could very well do it. Who knows? The teamless Terran, he is BYUN. He's also a red Terran, by the way. In case you haven't noticed, or maybe visually impaired somehow and were incapable of, in which case, you know what? There we go. I will be your vocal aid towards the esports. For the esports. Bottom right side, you're in dire need of help, my friend. In the bottom right side, we got a blue Protoss player, also teamless right now. He is Hurricane. Not sure where that camera movement is going, but alright, we're settling in. Everybody is kind of deciding still, I suppose, what kind of branch of tech they want to go down, or maybe they've already you know what, banched right on top of it. Probably already did. It's probably not a decision that takes them too long, or maybe it's very player dependent. Who knows? Probably the players do. If it was me, I'd still be deciding if I should have made a build order in the first place. But oh well. Can we have a command center? I mean, we're already on 80, 100s. That is quite a bit, actually. Yeah, 140. Look at that. That is a lovely blockade right there by that probe, even with a marine first here. Just managed to spend it on the factory still, but you know what? It's still a little bit of a delay overall. Would have had that money regardless. Hurricane also doing some expanding of his own. I wonder where he wants to take this game. I feel like the late game is really where you can probably make your best mark against BYUN. So truly the question here is, how are you going to get yourself into the late game? And at least that's the question I would pose myself. I'm not sure if Hurricane is posing himself that question, but anyway, I feel like that is potentially where he's posing it. So we are seeing the Stargate, and the Stargate is a great kind of structure to start off with, right? That's why they call it the Start Gate. No, okay, I'm sorry. That is that was so bad. Okay. Whew. Let me grab my hurdles. All right, so it allows you to really go for the scouting information. It allows you to do some harassments. It makes you quite safe as well, even against some marine pushes and stuff like this. All of the sorts, you will find yourself with quite a bit of helpfulness from those Phoenixes, as they do pack quite a bit of HP. So marines without any upgrades in low numbers. Maybe they have Stimpack. Even with the Stimpack, it does still take them a little bit to target down the Phoenixes. I suppose that with Stimpack, of course, they become quite a bit stronger, but still, the Phoenixes might be alright, and they provide quite a bit of cover for the, well, the Zealots, perhaps, or Stalkers, or anything else from below to do damage. Meanwhile, Marines, they are quite fragile as well. Single drop kind of being delivered towards the third base. One Stalker on the guard to duty right now. Not really sure if he wants to be involved with this entire situation. Might tell his boss to just call the entire operation off. That is what his boss is gonna have to do. Has to follow, well, the safety protocol regulations, of course. We don't mind. Does not manage to get into the ground. Nice, nice target fire there by Hurricane. BYUN does pick everything up and tries to go for a workaround into the main base, trying to hide his overall movements. A couple of SCVs went down there. I think that was that the Oracle. Did that get recalled or something? Probably. Oh, that's another Oracle, actually. It died. By what? Probably Marines. Alright, well, anyway. More important things at hand. Not that many probes going down. Just managed to get out. Only a single Phoenix. Should be okay. Just to be a bit careful. Fairly certain there's a way where you can unload the units while you're healing as well. Okay, he does do that in the end, but still not enough to kill the Oracle. Alright, so that medevac is gone. All the Marines inside of it are gone. It's a sad tale, but that's the tale that how that story ended. Back at the home front, they probably heard the news. Morale must be quite low. As the fighter jets of the Protoss now mocking the Terran. I'm getting a pretty reasonable scout here as well, actually, right? Seeing the barracks count, seeing the well, lack of a third base for the time being. Should anticipate more of a move out and more of an aggressive maneuver from BYUN here, rather than we saw in one of the previous games. I think that's kind of was what Hurricane was banking on in the previous game as well. It seemed like he was being very careful with his own third base, making sure that he had all the tech trees and all the production facilities to ensure he would be ready for an attack like this. This time around, he kind of went along a similar route. These types of attacks, they are still quite dangerous. As a Protoss, even though you know it's coming, it could still quite hurt you. But, well, let's see how it goes this time around. Thought there would be a bit more, actually, but there's still more reinforcements coming along, I suppose. Production full BYUN really kicking into high gear right now. Got those two extra barracks are finished up. Not that much stuff just quite yet. Only 2 sentries. Another observer bites the dust. He's going to try to force his way up here. He really shouldn't. Not with those sentries right there. Unless if he gets interference matrix on those sentries. But, I mean, you want to use that on the Colossus. There we are. Okay. The force field's not really hitting that mark. There's still more energy on that Raven, guys. As soon as that Colossus is ready again. I mean, it could be messed with once more. If BYUN does feel like taking that fight, he doesn't quite look all that tempted, though. Aiming more towards this top right side. I mean, it's a lot more open for the bio-infantry to fight with. That's for sure. Might be able to come in from the left as well with a couple of marauders. Alright. Goes undetected so far. Finds himself in a good position. There's the interference. Is there one more available? I think there is. Oh, yeah, there it is. Right now it is. Can have one more time. One more go at those Colossus, but one will be available, of course. Wouldn't it be lovely if he manages to somehow interference matrix one of them and look on to the other one with the cyclone? Wouldn't that be something? Anyway, Hurricane again, quite the strong-looking fortress of Protoss. Not really something that BYUN can do much about. Has kept a lot of his own boys back at home as well. It's a good call. Usually in these situations, the Protoss will find an opportunity to get a warp prism across the map. Try to get a warping of Zealots in somewhere, as the Terran is busy across the map, of course. A little bit of a missed value overall, perhaps. BYUN going forwards, yeah, quite aggressively. Not sure if he wants to. We do have Blink. Oh, the Raven doesn't get targeted down. BYUN can count his lucky stars for that one. Will come in quite useful later on, hopefully. As if he loses it right here. Oh, the Phoenix coming in to try and snipe it. Oh, it's a good move there. Good effort by Hurricane, but not quite successful, unfortunately for him. Wouldn't mind still don't have drilling class, by the way, do they? No. Also, still on the +1/+1 for the melee in. Oh, well, the sorry, the bio infantry, melee infantry. Quite the opposite. Yeah, BYUN. It looks like he just wants to contain Hurricane onto the 3 bases for now. That's why he feels confident. This way, he can have the Protoss army spread out enough that he can actually be a bother on 2 sides. Right now, it's just one army kind of being able to rotate back and forth. Spread out, well, a little bit whenever it's necessary. More and more forces for BYUN here, stacking up, though, onto the front door. And starting to become quite the intimidating force. We already have some disruptors. Well, not yet, but they are on the way. They are coming. Same as the DT presence. Once again, will be part of the culinary experience here. Oh, walked into a missile turret right there, unfortunately. I don't think we have any other ones active right now. We do not. Just the single disruptor right here that is now available. Getting 3 SCV kills. I think I have to explain to you guys, probably not what you're looking for. BYUN trying to go all guns blazing here. Moves up on top of the ramp. There was not enough sentry energy there. Maybe he got a good EMP off. I'm not even sure. I don't think there's a single ghost in the mix. Oh, disruptor. Ooh, that's a lot of marauders. There's the ghost. There's could be an EMP right now, but it's very late to the party. It's very late to the overall engagement. And yeah, I'm not sure if BYUN will be able to take the better end anymore. What's this thing before when we saw BYUN playing against a couple of Protoss players as well? He seems to avoid Liberators. He tends to not really go for them all that quickly, at least. As I've experienced. I'm not sure if people have significant proof otherwise. Alright, now we do have a movement towards them though. That is what we need to see. Okay, so, good. Maybe I was speaking out of turn. But he is going into Liberators. That's the next step of the army of the Terran here for people that may not know. Somehow, you want to get those Liberators in order to kind of secure yourself fire zones. To make big circles. Whichever enemy unit steps in will be shot at instantly by quite a bit of firepower. So single target damage and prioritizes, I believe, spellcasters and whatever is the highest HP targets overall. And that is a danger to itself as well. So we'll target down Stalkers before Colossus, for example. Because Stalkers can shoot it, right? Okay, BYUN. Oh, alright. Starting to split up again. Will instantly be spotted by the Dark Templar. The Dark Templar will not instantly be spotted here by BYUN. There's a thing about the Dark Templar. The Dark Templar stays underneath the units, right? The medevacs, and the observers, they go over top, so it's easier to spot, I suppose, for Terran in a way. Clearing out the area. I think there was a single marine here, perhaps. Anywho, on the right side, not as efficient at clearing out its area, but does manage to get there in time to stop any type of Nexus destruction. The drop on the bottom side, though, made a quick maneuver to go towards the third base here. Not quite getting on top of the Colossus right there, just mainly focusing down, I suppose, Stalkers is what he was going for there. Big medevac of units going down. Nexus gets cancelled, and BYUN, and he's putting on a lot of pressure onto his opponent, but again, we're not really seeing him being able to win any type of significant fights here. The army supply of Hurricane is growing and growing yet. And there are the first Liberators, 4 Liberators right now. Might be able to settle the score a little bit here, make it doable for BYUN to actually hold an area. So just gonna try to micro backwards continuously, which I know he's really good at, but you know, is the best way to play this matchup. Oh, another engagement? No, okay. Disruptors will keep him at bay. Needs to set up those Liberators. There we are. Claims the ground. Needs to keep the Marauders a bit closer. Okay, lovely. Lost 2 of them, to be fair, but it's one of the things that I think BYUN can still improve at a little bit. Just the overall micro on this army in particular. I know, don't get me wrong, guys. I know it's incredibly difficult. Don't confuse this with me saying like, oh, I could do this better. This is some sick micro, but overall, sometimes it feels like, considering what the unit should be able to do, right? There is still some potential there. I'm not sure if people can achieve it. Some people, I think, like Clem, might be able to do it a little bit cleaner. Big DT blink right on top and jumping on the other side. There's a lot of probes going down in Nexus as well. Gonna has to be careful though. He can't afford to just throw away too many of his units. He's already at quite a disadvantaged army at the moment, I would say. How many Liberators? Okay, we do have 6 Liberators right now. But he is 30 army supply short. We'll get this Nexus also. Nexus on this one still stands for 4 bases versus, well, just barely 5 bases here. Just setting this one up for BYUN. So, I mean, BYUN is putting them to, well, hurts onto a lot of these Nexus, but at the same time, I mean, it's not really expanding that much. And oh boy, the Liberators. Oh, that is rough. That is rough. Well, I guess I don't have to tell you, that's not optimal use of Liberators right there. Well, I'm not sure if there's going to be anything left anymore for BYUN to really do anything about this. This Hurricane stops this 3-0 from happening. Takes a grandiose 29 SCVs with him. He's going to look out for more BYUN. Not somebody that gives up too easily, but at this point in time, it is looking rather disturbing for him. The numbers aren't lying. Planetary Fortress, look at that, taking it down quite quickly. Tanking Stalker shots isn't what they are meant for. What do you mean? When did I say this? Liberators? Ah, there we go. Okay, there's the GG. There was a massive disruptor shot as well, by the way. Okay, so avoiding a 3-0 scenario here. We have Hurricane pushing it forward to map number 4, which is Jugannatha. The battleground. I'm not sure of whose choice. Probably going to be of... Well, BYUN picks it sometimes, actually, against Protoss. I know he doesn't mind playing on it, so it may have been his own choice, but if Hurricane picked it, I know that BYUN doesn't mind on it. Playing on it. Here we go. Best of 5. Points, 1 point. Only 1 point apart right now. Is he gonna lose his edge? The bottom left, teamless Terran, the red colored man himself. He is. Oh. BYUN. Top right side, a teamless Protoss. He is the, well, maybe the partyless. Yeah, the partyless Protoss. It's the blue man himself, Hurricane. Wants to try and get this game, well, this series into a game number 5, of course. Try and get himself that victory overall. At least an opportunity at victory. Or perhaps just having it a little bit closer already will suffice, right? 3-2 always looks a lot better on your racket than a 3-1. You know, 3-2. There's always, it's like, all right, that was a fight there for that series. 3-1. It's like, well, maybe he cheesed one round. Who knows? Maybe he got lucky build orders at one point. Who knows? Here, of course, we saw Hurricane taking quite a nice macro game. Didn't go for any type of Stargate attack even, just kind of held over BYUN's aggression. Step by step. Didn't take too much damage. Just pushed across after his army was, well, 134 army supply strong. Pretty good. Pretty good. See what the observing is like from these fellas. Some more Stalkers. Alright. Concussive Shell already on the way here from BYUN. It's a very quick Concussive Shell. More barracks also. Sometimes we see, well, Terrans like BYUN kind of get aggressive with early on Marauders. Try and snipe the few first Stalkers, really. We are seeing Stalkers being produced here by Hurricane first and foremost. That's a good sign for BYUN. If those were Adepts, it would be a little bit less of an opportunity, but we did Stalkers and a Sentry. Ooh, a Sentry could be really good as well. And this could be quite juicy for BYUN, especially if he already gets his first Stalker right here. He will. Oh, that is rough. At least Hurricane has the heads up right now. He will be able to at least attempt to get some sort of a defense going for this. We'll set up a shield battery. That's a good start. We'll keep some of his units alive there for quite a long time against the Marauders. I mean, they might slow you down and poke you down quite severely, but they don't have that much damage. Sentry up top. Okay, BYUN knows about that right now. Another Stalker being made here by Hurricane. Just want to commit to the Stalkers. I suppose with the shield battery there, you should be able to make it work. Going for the blink upgrade as well. I suppose that is the reason why. Yeah, BYUN already giving up here. Looks like, well, he's coming back for round 2. Finds the probe. Oh, that's good. Just sticking around for a moment longer and finds himself another victim. Stalker also getting low. Stalker, ooh, it's not going to get away here. Oh, getting 2 Stalkers and a probe for the 2 Marauders. I mean, and a bit of hull damage on the other one. It's okay. It's okay. Right? It's not bad. Especially later on. Right? Imagine if it's like a 4-gate Blink Stalker play or something like that coming up. Or if that's the intention. Imagine still being able to then trade 2 Marauders for 2 Stalkers. I'm fairly certain you'd be quite happy to take that trade. You know, nothing else. No siege tanks, no ravens, no medevacs, nothing else being shot down as well as they blink around continuously. So, in a sense, that's good. Hurricane will have his blink momentarily. His gateway count is going to be at 3. So I would assume he's going to try and stay defensively here. Maybe a little bit of a poke. You can try to be, you know, a bit aggressive with 3. He did get himself the War Prism, didn't he? Let me see the unit stab. No, he didn't actually. Alright. Okay, so yeah, he's most likely going to try to stay defensively then. Sometimes you see the Stalkers hosting up just in the front of the Terran base so they can see the move out. But that, of course, does open you up on the back front against any type of Widowmine attack. So it's a bit of a give and take with this matchup right here. These players have to find the middle ground. That is going to be the most opportunistic for them. So we have that Widowmine drop, of course, going towards the probe line. And the Marines and Marauders finding a couple of Stalkers right there. The Stimpack working out quite nicely. One Widowmine in the third base. That's going to cause quite a stir. Might make Hurricane look over to the wrong side. Okay, does come in back into the natural. One connection. Okay. Another probe does go down, but most managed you would like to, of course. Good Blink Stalker here. Play from Hurricane. Finds himself these Marauders for quite a low wager. You see what I mean? How many Marauders did he lose there for a single Stalker? 3 of them, I believe. Oh, 10 probe kills all of a sudden. How in the hell did that happen? 10 more probe kills. That is pretty nuts. That is pretty damn nuts. Oh. Moved off the camera. Let's see the other one. This one looks a bit more professional. Right, 2 forges on the way. Just some regular upgrading for the Protoss as BYUN. It's going along the Viking route. It's nice to see the initiative towards the Vikings. How many medevacs are we on? 3. Okay, that's a bit low. That's a bit of a low number. As we are approaching the 100 supply mark here, we would like to see that go up a little bit as well. Well, I guess with the Marine and Marauder numbers, you might be okay. It's not that many, right? Yeah. Maybe I'm a bit greedy. I like the Viking edition, actually. Yeah, I really do. I think the Vikings are a good addition here, instead. Very good choice. Alright. Let's see what BYUN makes of it, though, of course. Big fight happening already in the front beaches of the Protoss army. Is he just going to win this straight up right here, right now? Oh my. Stalker front still trying to hold its course, but it does appear like BYUN is starting to put the pressure where it hurts here for Hurricane. Those siege tanks putting on a lot of back pressure. There's a lot of Stalkers here taking extra damage from those siege tanks, of course. Those Colossus are the main target for the siege tanks overall, together with those Vikings trying to poke those down. Making a very difficult fight for Hurricane to engage. BYUN here seemingly waiting for more reinforcements to seep in as well. Trying to get ready for the follow-up push. Charge is on the way. It's almost ready. Actually, it did just complete. +1/+1 also about to complete. Should be ready for the next fight begins. A lot of spotter pylons being made there by Hurricane as well. Good choice. Very likely that BYUN will attempt something like this at some point. But BYUN right now committed with the siege tank front. Is breaking down a lot of those Stalkers very quickly. Not that much left on the field. The Marines moving in forwards, but they are quite lined up. The Colossus still having a good shot at the infantry. Now having a bit of trouble though. Oh, look at the HP bars on those Marauders and Marines though. It is quite disturbingly low. Then again, there's not that much left anymore here for Hurricane. Regardless, there's reinforcements coming for BYUN. GG is called, and BYUN takes game number 4 as well.